In this section, we're going to look at the 4 visions, and we've really distilled this now into 2 visions, your defined vision and your delivered vision, and the distillation that needs to occur between the two. So, it really breaks down to a very simple question. As we shared with the value statement poster, where every time an executive violated one of the values, the employee put a check mark next to the value that was violated. For vision, it's equally important for the leadership, from the board to the C-level to the executives to the teams, to not just talk the talk, but actually walk the talk. So the question is are you walking the talk for your vision? If the answer is yes, then it will be balanced like it is in this picture. When we talk about talk, we talk about true vision, or the stated vision, what you actually end up writing down, and that ideal to which you're actually trying to achieve. Okay? So, conversely, if the vision's not in balance, if you answer the question about your vision, are you walking the talk, and your answer is no, if they're not equal, then the vision is fractured. And I almost without exception, I can guarantee you that politics will arise. Basically, with a fractured vision, that means it's broken. Well, that means it's probably in at least a couple of pieces. That means you have probably at least 2 or more visions, which means, by definition, you have division. Now, this doesn't mean that it's wrong to have divisions in a company, because the finance department, they're not going to have the same vision as the marketing department, or the same as the operations department. They're all going to have different visions, but they all should link back to the overarching vision of the organization. 9 times out of 10, they're not. Okay, everybody's off doing what they think is best for the organization. So division isn't always a bad word, especially if you're talking about departmental divisions. But that also gives rise to silos and silo thinking and all of the different issues that we run into organizationally with all these different divisions and departments. So basically what's happened is the delivered vision versus the defined vision, we're looking at something that where the true and actual vision, the walk, is not reflecting the talk, what's been implied or even written down. So if it's fractured, that fractured tips the balance, puts the vision out of whack. That means that it's not agreed to. There's no agreement. The agreement has not been distilled. When you do not have distilled agreement, that will automatically lead to politics, and worse, compensating practices are going to pop up all over the place in the organization in order to offset the fractured vision. So this actually costs companies millions or billions of dollars a year having misalignment. And so as a leader, I would think that they would want to have alignment. At least if I was leading a company, I would want the people to have visions that are in alignment with the overall vision of the organization. Without that alignment, it's going to be a very bloody war. So here we've got a little bit updated from the original white paper that Ted and I had done many years ago, 6-7 years ago now. And here we're giving a little bit more definition to implied vision. It's the reflection of each leader's walk. It's implied by what they do and how they act. If a leader's walk and talk match, then the implied and stated visions will match the true and actual vision, like we've shown on the last two slides. So stated vision should always reflect the implied vision, what it is that we're saying, both explicitly and implicitly. The stated vision, companies spend a ton of money on this. It's the vision statement that you share with your customers, your stakeholders, your employees, everybody. And so you're spending a ton of money on this already. You might want to take a step back and double check that, is our vision actually achieving what we want it to achieve for our organization? So the implied vision should always shape the stated vision here at the bottom, and it should always reflect the implied vision as well. So when we get over to true vision, this one gets a little more abstract, and people will be going, this gets really almost a little confusing. That's why we try to simplify it to defined vision and delivered vision. And the true vision is over on the delivered side. And it should be the sweet spot inside your organization on which your executives should be actually focusing. It's got a lot of names. It could be competitive advantage, hedgehog, purple cow, unique selling proposition. Depending on which books you've read, hedgehog comes from good to great. Unique selling proposition, that was one of the books that Paul DeModica had written quite a while ago. He's the one that coined the phrase unique selling proposition. Distilling the definition of the true vision can only happen over time. It emerges from the pressure cooker of disagreement, where all opposing views have been aired, evaluated, and the combination of the best parts of each idea creates the true vision. So the true vision statement, once it's been distilled, should be crafted into a vision statement as a short phrase that's easy to remember and even easier to communicate. And we talked about this in cascading vision. Only 5 to 7 words long, even shorter, the better. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to communicate, and you're going to end up with the risk of diluting the message as it ripples out through the organization. The actual vision, that's when the implied and stated visions agree and align, both the walk and the talk, and then that creates the true and actual vision, and everything's in balance. So the implied and stated visions converge and distill to deliver the true and actual vision. I decided to add in a slide to try to help people understand more from a 4D model perspective, what is it that we're trying to deliver here. So implied vision is sort of the beginning definition of what is it that we're implicitly trying to say. And then you're going to distill explicitly a stated vision. And so once that stated vision is distilled and agreed to, and you've printed it on pretty posters with wonderful fonts and lots of color and action and activity on the poster, and it's delivered to everybody's cubicle in the organization, then it becomes the priority of every executive to deliver and drive that vision. And to deliver the true vision, your walk and your talk have to match. So talk is define and distill, and walk is deliver and drive. And driving the actual vision, that which emerges from the first three, that becomes the vision in the center. Okay, so if that actual vision and stated vision are matching, then everything's in balance. If the implied and true vision are matching, those are in balance. If these four get out of balance, then you end up with the picture about 3 slides ago, where it's fractured, it's out of balance, and it's going to cause your organization to limp along. And that's about the last thing any executive wants or needs. The 4R model is the predecessor to the 4D model. The 4R model existed first, and it gave rise to the 4D model. The 4R model is the right truth, right values and attitudes, right actions, right results. You're going to see that in a couple slides. And it's the model that we use for dealing with the individual. And it's everything that we do involves people. So if you have an organization and you are working with people, you need the 4R model or something similar with which to try to work with people. This has its origins from about 35, 40 years ago when I was studying at the university. And it's really interesting because it's foundational to everything that we do. Yes, we put vision first, and we talk about vision first. And Simon Sinek talks about that in one of his latest videos. Really good stuff. Yes, vision's first, but everything involves people. You can't do anything in an organization without people. And if you have people, you have to deal with the individual. And you have to deal with them where they're at, not where you necessarily would like them to be.